Hey guys, my name is Artsy. I'm a virtual reality world builder, and I just want to welcome you to my YouTube channel.
Like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss.
Having so much stuff open.
So if this is your first time joining us, this is Open Studio. This is just a time for all of us to get together and go through any troubleshooting, any issues that anybody has, getting started with world building or in the process of making something. Feel free to drop a question in the chat or come off of mute and ask a question, or just, listen to the conversation if you want to. All right, Trey, I got this up here. I'm gonna share my screen in just a minute.
Okay.
So it came with, so there's a sleeveless version. There's a version with sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
So Artsy and Trey, well, really, Trey, is this a MREU building or what is it exactly?
It's
Yeah,
it's a wearable.
If you've been in Altspace, there's people that are making add-ons to the avatars, like clothing, that you use an MRE to basically attach the clothing to the avatars.
Mm-hmm.
All right, can you see this?
Yes.
All right, up here there's this one.
Uh-huh.
The sleeveless you want to work on?
Yes.
Okay, so normally I would take the vertex select tool,
mm-hmm,
and then I would turn on proportional editing here,
mm-hmm,
and then I would like push down, like it kind of sculpted this way.
mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you can probably tweak this enough to get it to where you want it, but
yes,
there's not really enough geometry here to do like a lot of sculpting, and that's why I wanted you to add loop cuts. So I go to the loop cut tool, and then I'm going to add some more geometry.
Now what are you clicking? You left clicking or?
Yeah, left click.
Okay.
Let me turn on these.
What's that?
There it is, the shortcut
Oh.
viewer thing. That way, you have more geometry to manipulate there.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, that's one way.
Cause I was in the sculpting thing up there, and I was trying to do it that way.
There's a lot of ways to get to the same place, but you could also bevel this. So let's say you click on the face here.
Uh-huh.
And then the bevel tool. And you can add some bevel there.
Oh, okay.
To add a little bit of smoothness.
Okay. I just don't want, well, like I said, I just don't want it to make it look like they got shoulder pads on.
Right.
So yeah, that's the whole goal.
So you could select these here, and then bevel these.
Oh, wow.
Right?
You're looking better already. Okay. Wow.
Then you can just, kind of move these down.
Wow.
Using the proportional editing tool.
Okay.
So that looks a lot better, right?
Yes, it does. It does much better. I have to go back and watch this. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. All right, we got some new people. Welcome.
Artsy, I can never miss this. You're amazing.
What's up, Greg?
It's good.
Welcome back.
Saturday afternoon. Yeah, I just want to see what everybody's up to.
Awesome. Are you working? You working on anything?
I'm working. I'm always working. Yeah, I'm better in Blender now, for sure. So just getting more skills, watching lots, and learn. It's the lighting, I think. The new bubblegum thing you released there, the house.
Yeah.
I watched that. I looped it. I slowed it down so many times. Just to, get the flow right. It's all about flow, like how, and some things we don't have all the assets. So it's like where to build what and to how to fill up rooms, and you know how it is.
Yeah. That definitely the filling up of rooms can be daunting for a lot of people. That's why I definitely suggest, pre-working on your asset library. So if you just spend some time, instead of like jumping straight into building buildings, if you just start beefing up your, asset library,
couches, bars and stuff
like
that.
things that fit your type of builder ideals, right? Like if you normally make houses, you need lots of beds, kitchen stuff, bathroom stuff, couches and stuff. But if you're more like into making lounges, you need a lot of couches and tables and cool lighting and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's planning too. Like I see that you do a lot of the room structure and like a lot of the stairs and levels. So because where things are going, you can build within it. So it's planning a lot of that out and getting that to be a lot smoother, I guess. And it's fun.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of demos lately. When people hit me up for like a individual session, just a lot of demos to just show people to kind of overcome that fear. Especially with, it happens a lot with the large spaces, like you saw with the bubblegum house, that it was actually quite a small space.
Right. So a lot of things were mirrored and kind of like filled up, but it shows that you can build a room that size. It's easy, like simple. Do an X or do the cross, build them out and build around it. Yeah, it was good.
This is
one thing I didn't get though were a lot of the lighting when you went into Unity, like what's an emission, what's a light, and because I saw you bake it all, but I'm like, I don't know. I could see some things in the roof there where you have a lot of the emissions going on. So I'm kind of wanted to...
That it was completely like this emission here. So this is my uplighting or downlighting. And then these lights have emissions on the end. And then I had one area light in here. That's it.
Okay.
And then the sun.
Yeah, and then the sun from the outside, yeah.
Yeah. I've actually built, most of my worlds are completely lit by emission. But that's also like my lazy way of doing it, because I really should be adding more point lights, for, directional light type stuff. Sometimes I just get too excited and I don't want to wait. Let's see, Peggy, currently learning Blender. I want to create a scaled person to base the building of spaces on.
Yeah, because I see that you have a person, like a mannequin type person.
Yeah, I actually gave that to you guys in the starter pack. So if you go,
that's on your website, right?
You can get to it from my website, but Armani just dropped the link.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So the starter pack, this is the startup file for that. So you get 2 avatars.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. And these are already perfectly scaled. So
Gotcha.
Don't scale these. Scale everything that you build around them.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
No problem. This is also in the starter pack. You have a Blender file, so the Blender startup file, and then you also have the same startup file for Unity that also has the exact same scene here. And then there are individual FBX files of these avatars. But I would recommend using the starter pack because they're already scaled correctly.
No, that's so excellent, and you're so generous. Thank you so much.
No problem. Is there anybody in here that has not downloaded the starter pack and needs to know like how to use it?
I downloaded it, but I didn't unpack it yet.
Okay.
I can view, go through it. So when I get off work and I'll go play with it later, I have an idea of what I'm working with.
Yeah. So as long as you have Blender installed, all you need to do is double click on this Blender startup file and it's going to open up just like this. And the same with Unity. Once you open up like a Unity project, you just need to go here and you can click on this Artsy starter pack Unity package.
Yeah.
You can just drag it into your project scene here, and then it's going to import all of that.
Hey, Artsy, is that something that we have to import every single project? Because I know you had one where you had multiple scenes and you were using that. Is there a way to like reference that and package it so that you don't have to do that every time?
So anytime you make a new project, it's completely bare. Now, and you'll have to import stuff. If you look here, I have over 200 templates that I've built, but I only have like
2 projects,
maybe 10. Yeah, 10 projects, but only like 4 or 5 that I use during the week. So I have one that's called personal, clients, NFT Oasis, and then I have certain ones, that are dedicated. But yeah, so these scene files here,
you just multiply so that you have the resources. I gotcha.
So my workflow is I start in Blender always. I never start in Unity. I start in Blender, and then let's say I drop a house in here, right? Then I save I save this directly into my Unity project. So this Unity project is called Worldbuilder Collective. So on my computer, I'll just go to Worldbuilder Collective, Assets, and then I will create a new folder in here and I'll call it House 2, right? I normally give it a client's name or the name of the build. And then I save my Blender file straight in there. And then I'll save my FBX file. So I'll export FBX, save it into the exact same folder as my Blender file. And then when I go back to Unity, it will import automatically. I don't have to drag and drop. And so now I have a new folder here called House 2. Got a new Blender file and a new FBX file. Now, in this file, where I'll right click and click create scene, and that scene will be called House 2. And so now you see I have two scenes.
Got one of these on sale now.
Or yeah, I have two scenes in the same project.
I didn't see that.
So House 2 is empty because I just made it. And then I can drag in here and start building that new scene. Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
do work
Yeah,
for each
sure.
template.
Yes, got it.
Yeah. All the like each folder I have over here is for a new template in Altspace. So I might put like 20 different worlds in the same project. And that way, if I download things like, let's say I'm using my 3D Connection Space Mouse, then I can just go to my package manager, and I only need to download stuff from my package manager once. And then I can continue to use everything, on an ongoing basis. I don't need to make a new project and import new things each time.
See, that's so important, right? Like the flow and to have it, because for sure. And then separating out like your assets for each project, then at least you're keeping your templates, all your folders are all structured. It's just using the same resources. I like it. I love it.
Yeah. So let's say like we went through, that big update in Altspace. For me, all I needed to do was go into one of my master projects. I'll right click on the folder here, and then I'll do export package, and it will export my Blender file and my FBX file and my Unity file, and everything else that is in this scene will be brought into that export package. And then I can save that package onto my hard drive. So if I go down here to Unity 2022 and Unity package prefabs, I actually have a lot of stuff that I've already prefabbed, and then I can just drag and drop these. And then I have Unity, projects here. So these are client builds or, things that are just on my hard drive. They're not on my computer. So when I need to update something like the Harlem subway, then I can just import this Unity package into the project that I'm working in.
I see. So is that how you're backing up a lot of in general, that's how you're exporting out of Unity and backing up, because it'll keep the blend file. Now that blend file has dependencies.
The blend file it's just,
yeah, but it'll have like import dependencies or everything in there. I guess if it packages everything,
yeah,
like all the assets and all the
Now it is important, if you're going to do that, to go to File, External Data, and pack your resources. Right. Because if this texture here of the concrete is in my downloads, it's going to look for that downloads folder. And if I switched computers, it won't be there.
Understood. So that's how you're backing up. You're doing that in Blender, and you're exporting the packages in Unity.
So mine's a little bit different, because I'm actually, this round, I'm actually saving everything on my hard drive. So even my downloads folder for my computer is on my hard drive. So like I can take this entire hard drive and go plug it into another computer, and
everything will be fine.
Everything will be read in the same place. So I don't have much of anything on my computer. I just run everything off of my hard drive.
Yeah, and then I save it all to the cloud, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terabytes on Google so cheap. I think I pay $10 or $5, like, so back up everything. Life.
Steven, let's say that you switch things like skyboxes or global indirect lighting between scenes. How would you quickly recall those? So if let's see, I have two scenes here. I'm gonna duplicate this one. So I'm gonna do Control D to duplicate that. All right, so house 2, I actually don't have, all right, I have one skybox here. So that's a skybox. And this is just in my materials. Like if I right click here and select dependencies, I can find out where that is. You might have to come off mute to just explain what your question is, because if it's in the project, you can always find it and drop it into another one.
Do her designs, which is good. This lady named Artsy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Why are you always making me talk?
Because I didn't fully understand your question.
Okay.
Love you.
Sure. Anyway, so I was asking if you were switching between two different scenes.
Yeah.
Like, let's say I had two different builds that I saved with scenes inside of the same project.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, one I baked a certain way with global lighting and things like, let's say that I wanted, I don't know, a certain intensity for my global lighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or something else with skybox settings, something that you don't necessarily save within the actual hierarchy. So how do you quickly recall those if they're going to be different for two different scenes?
So I duplicated this scene, right?
Uh-huh.
So house 2, all right, so house 2, I can drop this skybox in. I'm gonna double click on house 3. There's no skybox. Wait, it's not saving? Let me see if I can drag another skybox in. So the skyboxes don't show up in your hierarchies, right?
No.
Okay. So house 4, we got a different skybox here. In house 3, we have a different skybox here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they're in your project, they'll always be there. Like, there's not really much you can change about the skyboxes in general. But if you're gonna go into lighting, then let's say I'm gonna make a new lighting setting here. I thought you could rename these. Okay, so there's 3 different lighting settings here. and you can have these, all three of these can be different presets. So you can change this to baked indirect, progressive GPU, maybe leave that one at 40. And then if you just click on this one, it will take you to house 2. And you'll see the different lighting settings here. And you can drag these. So if one of these lighting settings is for house 2, and you go to house 4, then when you're baking house 4, you can just drag in the house 2 lighting settings.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are already generated in the folder of where your scene files are. So if my Artsy starter pack scene file has its own lighting settings, the lighting settings will show up in this folder. And I do that a lot. So when I'm like baking house 4, and then I go into my lighting, then I will just click this circle button here and I'll pick one like that one, right? That already has all of my settings. So it's very rare that I actually go back and make these new.
Okay. Yeah, I usually don't have to do that because I'll do one build per event or something. But when we did the house party stuff, I had 3 different ones for the same build, and so that was the first time I had to really switch between different lighting settings. And I found myself just resetting everything every time, and I was like, "There's got to be an easier way." I know, who knows?
Yep. Less is more, right? Good stuff. Welcome to all the new people. I got too many things open.
Hi, Artsy, it's Peggy again. I have a question about the size of the files that you bring in to Altspace. Do you have a maximum file size?
So on my best days, if I'm making something for a client or if I'm making something for my Patreon, I try to make sure that it's under 20 megabytes. Sometimes that can be difficult depending on how many different textures and materials you have, but the size that it uploads into Altspace is solely based on how the size of your materials and textures. I mean, the size of your textures. So if I go to my Artsy starter pack and I go to textures, when I upload the scene file here, it's really not counting the polygons the polygons aren't going to come in at 15 megabytes or anything. It's solely about these textures. So if I click on this texture here and open this up here, you'll see that this is 0.7 megabytes. And then I can go over all of these look to be 0.7. So if you add all of these together, that's what the size of your template is going to be, including your skybox. So some of the skyboxes can be upwards of 16 megabytes and more.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So normally if and it's also your light baking or your light map as well. So if you're baking a light map and it turns out to be 128 megabytes, then your scene file is going to be a lot bigger. So, but there's also compression that happens when uploading into Altspace. So 128 megabyte skybox is, 128 megabyte light map is not actually going to reflect as 128 in your world. But when I'm trying to, bring the count of something down, it's always going through my materials and my skyboxes to make sure that those are all pretty much like I can drop these down to 512, you know, and put them in the kilobytes. So now it's 170 kilobytes. You really don't need 4K textures in Altspace.
Right. No, that makes sense. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. And I have ran tests where I've put like 5 to 10 million triangle vertices, you know, like in to Altspace, but it has no textures on it, and the file size was like 0.7 megabytes, right? But then I did the same thing, and I put, you know, 50 different textures in there, and it was of course like 100 and something. And then that's when it started to get glitchy in the world. So
okay. Excellent, thank you. Oh, and one more thing, Artsy. I like the way you do your videos on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You video your spaces. What do you do to do that? Do you do that in your Oculus Quest video fit?
No, ma'am. I do. I actually do my cinematography in Unity.
So you use the camera option in there.
Yeah, so this main camera here. When I first got started, I just animated this camera. So you can see the game view here.
Yes.
Like I would animate it from here, this point, to this point.
Oh, and then you just move it around.
Yeah. So there's animation panel here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just put it down here.
Okay.
And I will create, make sure my camera is selected, create new animation. And then I can take, actually, I'm gonna do it on this scene because it's more dynamic. Yeah, when my course comes out, don't let them tell you I didn't teach y'all nothing for free.
Oh, no. Nobody, first of all, nobody should be complaining about anything.
They complain about everything.
No, they shouldn't, though. Those people are losers because all the stuff you get, first of all, I wouldn't probably even give all the stuff that you've been giving away. So if you need a testimonial or anything, you just let me know.
Yo, I have been slaving over these courses for months now, and but it's gonna be very valuable. Like,
oh yes,
it's
well,
got. Well, I've been doing this, you know, all day, every day for the past 2 years, and I've found my own style and my own workflow. That, you know, I've been able to repeat over and over again for me to upload 200 templates in 2 years. So
yeah,
like a lot of people get stuck in certain areas, and I just want to make it streamlined. Even though I've been doing private lessons and private sessions with people, it's still for people to get to the finish line.
Oh, well, you do private sessions too?
Yeah. So I don't advertise that I do private because at one point I was spending like 8 hours a day just teaching people, and they would never actually make it to the finish line because just having an hour, you know, is not enough to get them to the finish line. Like, you actually need to sit down and go through the entire process. And you know, it's not as benefit, like the private lessons were really for people that got stuck in places, you know, like IT Trey, definitely. I had it on my website, you know, where you can book a private lesson, but yeah, once the whole like meta like Facebook changed their name to Meta and everybody was trying to get in, like I was swamped. Like I couldn't even get my own work done. So I just pulled back, and that's why I made the group to just, put the resources out there at the same time.
Right, you have to conserve your time too. I mean,
yeah. It got out of hand, but there's a lot of people that teach. I just have a very particular style that people want to learn.
Right.
All right, so I got my main camera here. No problem. All right, so I got my main camera here. It's got an animation track on it. And so I'm gonna look in this main camera here, this game view. So I can actually, I'm gonna drag this window over here so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna hit record.
Okay.
And so the first movement you see makes a keyframe. And then let's say I wanna go to keyframe 3. And then I'm gonna bring it down here, maybe rotate it a little bit. And so now, when I play it.
Right. Oh, that's so cool.
Oh my God. That's cheating.
So I discovered this a long time ago when.
Yeah, cheat sheet.
I discovered this a long time ago when I was doing when I made the world for what is it called? What was the obstacle course? Saxy.
Fall Factor Extreme.
Yeah, Fall Factor Extreme. So I learned how to do that when I was making Fall Factor Extreme because I had a drone. I attached a camera to a drone model and I animated the drone and the camera followed the drone. And I was like, oh, yes, I can make videos. So that's how I do that. I also do my photographs, like I do professional renders of my work in Unity. And basically all you need to do is go to the package manager, go to Unity registry, and scroll down to Unity recorder, and then install that.
You are a gem. I thank you for that, because I was like, her videos are so nice that, record her spaces. And I was like, I'm planning on just doing small rooms in the beginning. But I would like to do something like that just to give previews. And yeah, yours to me is the best that I've seen.
You guys are the only ones to have seen that.
Okay, I won't spread. It.
I won't tell nobody.
There was another one though, Artsy. Didn't you show us like was it a Blender add-on that animated? Wasn't there an app or something you used before where you pick the points and you click play and it automated right to each point?
That's Sin Machine.
Oh, okay.
Sign Machine.
Yeah.
That also comes with Unity.
It is in
that
Unity,
one.
though. Okay, yeah.
I started with this one because it's simpler.
Step 1, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Scene Machine can easily take you hours to generate.
Get it set up first, but then once you know it, the patterns, and it's easy to click.
I'll give you guys a sneak peek. Actually, don't tell anybody that I showed y'all.
All right.
No, from your mouth to God's ears. Okay.
Don't tell nobody y'all saw this. Okay?
No, will not.
This stays in the open studio.
Yeah, this is because you guys are here. All right.
Yeah.
Glad to be here. I miss a lot of these sessions.
Oh my freaking God.
Hold on, Trey. Hold on.
That is freaking awesome! Oh my God, they doing it. What's the name? Oh my God!
Wow. So can you explain what we
My
looking at?
mind shouldn't have saw this.
Oh, is that holoportation too? That's dope.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a teaser. All right, that I completely did in Unity.
Oh my god.
That's a world that I built called LA Alley, and I built it for NFT Oasis.
Oh my freaking.
And then I rendered out a video, like an actual like short clip of it.
Oh my freaking.
You're inspiring us, and then you're making us depressed at the same time. You understand?
Yes. Yes. Thank you for saying that. Yeah.
Listen, one polygon at a time. Okay.
Start, yeah.
You just gotta sit down and you gotta do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Allocate the time, right? And you can get it to where you want it.
No, and that's the thing too, is everybody's at different levels. And I think I can tell a lot of people get frustrated, and it's the tech background that you have and taking the hours to learn. Artsy talks about those YouTube videos for a reason, because knowing all the Blender, knowing all the modeling first, before you start diving into like full worlds, like knowing that process too. That's why I ask a lot about flow, how she goes from idea all the way down to that, that render and those videos. It takes a lot of work. So knowing everywhere in the middle, I think we're good as a group. Kind of, we all teach each other, and everybody posts links. We all got to help each other to get at different levels, and we'll all get there.
It's really cool. I just came back from New Orleans. I spent 2 weeks in New Orleans. I was on a panel at Black Technola, and then I had a Worldbuilder intro lesson. I had a bunch of teenagers in my conference room, and I actually went through the whole process of building a world and importing it into Altspace in about an hour and a half. And they gave me a prompt, like something that they wanted to build. Like one of the kids was like, I want you to build a triangle, like a pyramid. And then another one was like, all right, so it's got to be a black pyramid. And then another one was like, it's got to be a black pyramid on the moon. And so I built that for them while they were watching.
Wow.
Then imported that into Altspace so that they could see it. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I don't remember where I saved it.
Hypothetical on the camera.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Here it is.
Go ahead.
Then you go ahead and ask a question.
So, all right, hypothetically.
Wow. Oh.
Hey, that's tight right there. Hold on, let us comment real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that
That
is
is
so
busted.
wow.
Sorry, man. I ain't mean to interrupt
Oh
you. I
my
like that.
freaking god.
Is that in the sky?
It's
Oh,
actually,
you see that environment right there? The skybox is like, wow.
It looked like the top of a
Wow.
pyramid. Just
Oh my God.
structure.
Oh my freaking god, bro.
Building this in front of them, in their eyes. It must
Yeah,
give
Wow,
them
that looks like an
motivation.
Ethereum.
Good kids.
yeah, their mind was blown thoroughly.
Yeah.
My mind is blown. Oh my god.
Okay. Okay, man. I didn't mean to interrupt your question,
nah,
but we had to get that out. I felt like I wasn't the only one that felt like that.
Wow.
Saxy, you had a question?
Yeah, so because you know how my mind works. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Hypothetically speaking, if you were able to, because I saw you do it in the Fall Factor Extreme, basically fly a camera around in a live event, right?
Mm-hmm.
So hypothetically speaking, if you were able to take that feed and run it out to like an external platform like Twitch or something, that would be a way of live streaming events in Altspace, right?
So that's kind of what we did. Like I put, and I don't think I even have the Unity file for that anymore. But what I did was I put I don't know if you saw it, I put a really big plane on the back side of the obstacle course.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put my bot in Altspace, like right here. So it was actually rendering out the video and then stream it through OBS and stream it to whatever platform. But the only thing about this is that it's pre-recorded, you know, movements. So I pre-recorded the drone movements through the crowd, you know, through the obstacle course, but it wasn't like following anybody specifically. That's something you can do with an MRE though.
I was gonna say you could technically import those as kits, right? And then move them around. Well,
they're still pre-recorded. So like they're pre-animated. And I mean, you could definitely try it out. I think somebody that's, you know, making MREs could do it more efficiently, you know, with like a trigger.
Cause all right, yeah.
Or to move the camera
since
where
we're
it
sharing
needs to be.
ideas, one of the things I was thinking, like, if we're doing shows and you have somebody on stage, and maybe you have, I don't know, you want to film the audience, like these are different. If you know where things are gonna happen within your space, then hypothetically speaking, you could take those different camera movements, and as long as you know what the orientation is, you could then sort of export your different perspectives for an event out and essentially mimic a live camera crew.
Yeah.
But we did, yeah. So we did that for that naughty holoportation. Stobert had an MRE that he was recording, but I don't think he got to do like the OBS out to Twitch or something. Like, I think that's another step, another level, and I think there's, yeah, it's interesting.
No, yeah, that's definitely a thing. And you can upload these as as kit objects.
Right. Oh, it's a wrap now.
I know, right?
Well, that'd be a way to kind of like stream it, yeah, and give that first person perspective of the show, especially in 3D while you're in VR. Right, that's cool.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
tell us more about New Orleans then. Anything good with the tech and the world building? Maybe guys from Meta, or like just in general, were there a lot of kind of hype for world building in general?
On the panel that I was on, I kind of like, I guess like what a lot of people are starting to recognize about like how I talk about the metaverse comes from a very emotional perspective. Like when people think tech, they think it's pretty sterile. But I talk about VR and world building from an emotional view. So I was definitely crying on stage. I think Armani watched it. But I think people really appreciate coming from, you know, like knowing that it actually, you know, changes people's lives. My life has been changed, you know, by coming into the space. And I think after the panel, people were really interested. So I was happy that, you know, like my world building class came after that. And all the teenagers that I had in there, like the young adults, like were definitely on board. So like I've tried to filter some of them through the Facebook group. There's also, I did participate in the creation of Essence first tech summit that weekend as well. So there was an opportunity for me to work with Block Technola on the Essence Tech Summit. So I'm gonna actually show you guys the render. Essence contacted them 6 weeks before the event, and we had 6 weeks to put together the whole build out for the Tech Summit. And so they brought me on board to do the 3D render of the space, the layout. And then I also had a VR booth at Essence Fest, where I put people into the headsets to check out some of my worlds. And a lot of people there were super inspired. Like the kids were super inspired. We had, they had a bunch of teenagers that were working the event as well. And they, were introduced to VR for the first time. So it was a great week in terms of being able to introduce people to this, the possibilities of a career. It was a great week. It was a great week.
That's awesome, especially with you inspiring the youth, because this is definitely, you're young too, Artsy, so you're not as, you're not out there, but still, to get them prepared for this big thing that's happening beneath the surface, like, it's really cool. Yeah.
Because one of the things,
when it busts out, it's going to be like, wow,
Right.
Well, it's because the bar is low now. You just need a laptop, but you need time, and you have to have discipline and the knowledge, and you can learn. Inspiring.
Exactly. Look at that. Wow. That reminds me of Jacob Javits. Wow.
So this is what they used to get everything fabricated. And this was my first time doing anything like this, because normally like I just build for, VR, but this actually got, we had to do the measurements of everything, I had to learn how to measure stuff, correctly. And
So
I'd never been in this building, so I was relying on, the
oh my God,
the information that they could give me on the ground to kind of make this stuff up. But let me show you, if you're not my friend on Facebook, you probably haven't seen it, but.
What software is traditionally used to do event modeling?
I have no idea. Probably Maya, 3ds Max, SketchUp.
Did you run into any things that, any issues using something that wasn't traditionally intended for a IRL sort of use case?
When I first tried to learn this stuff, I did, was it Live Home 3D?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Live Home 3D Pro.
All right, so this was the actual build out.
This is a video of you walking through the setup you just showed us earlier?
Right.
No,
Yeah.
This is CGI. No, this is VR. This is fake.
No. This is real life. Yeah.
I'm about to say that's the real life, right?
I knew
Yeah,
some
this
people
is-
would get new.
Yeah. This is the real life setup of this file here.
So how was that?
Gotcha.
How was that, Artsy? Because I remember that you saying you like to kind of be free.
I bawled my eyes out.
Wow.
I walked in here when they were still putting it together, and everybody had renders, like printouts of the render in their hands. I bawled my eyes out. It was amazing.
Wow. So you pulled it off. You wowed yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's my art being projected on the walls. It was just everything artsy. I just couldn't handle it.
Wow.
Congratulations, man. That is just so fast.
Yeah, that's a hell of a just talking to you from a year to right now. Yeah. I see why you be crying. Like you probably couldn't believe the stuff how you peeling back reality with your what
Yeah,
you
it's
doing.
wild. It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know
It's
that's
definitely
amazing.
wild.
Yeah.
Hey, so Artsy, a question to piggyback on this. This is a real world kind of event, you know, that happened, and you kind of use the architectural kind of diagrams to do the space. How big can AltSpace go? Like this is an arena. Can you do like a, you know, like a city block? I've seen some people have, you know, a block or anything. Can you do like a downtown core where you measure real world stuff in Google Maps and bring that into AltSpace and maybe walk down a street where it's the digital twin kind of thing? What do you think about AltSpace doing that? Is it does it work?
Yeah, coupled with like game designer tactics like atlasing and, you know, static batching. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because you can go like
I don't
even a
tell my
couple
clients
blocks.
that though, because that's not.
Because it's a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's, yeah, but
That's
you could
outside-
fake. Well,
that's
you could
outside the
fake it
budget.
too. You could almost do like a kind of like a half and half, right? It can be half real world, but then the other half is faking it like we do in AltSpace with, you know, textures and kind of thing. You don't exactly do a digital twin, but you could have people come downtown to these little cities. You could, I guess, it could be.
You can
AltSpace
actually
twin.
do. You can do anything to scale. I mean, that's what I mean. A lot of what we're seeing is. I mean, if you know, have you been to Burning Man? In VR?
In real life? No, no, either.
Okay, so Greg Edwards, the lead designer at NFT Oasis and the co-founder, he built Burning Man to scale. So what is it, the 10 miles that Burning Man is? Like he built that to scale in VR.
Gotcha.
But he used, you know, texture, like everything, this entire world at scale was only 1 to 2 textures, you know? But it was super performant. For me, that's when I became a super fan of Greg, and now I get to work with him, you know, like, and he's teaching me those, you know,
techniques. Gotcha.
Techniques, yeah. But yeah, you can do the same thing with cities. I mean, you can grab maps off of.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah, I've got it kind of a city kind of, you know, that's what I'm doing is trying to look at Google Maps and map out the actual, you know, like the downtown, a couple streets, and they just want generic buildings that look somewhat, doesn't have to look exactly like.
Well, when you import them into Blender, they're gonna be generic, but you have the app for that.
Yeah, there's a Google Map app, that I found. I kind of import, but you could just model it straight from fresh, just because it might be a lot easier.
Nah.
If you don't if you don't have to put all the design into the actual buildings, right? The buildings can't look exact because it's too many polygons. Like if it's
yeah. They're like they come as like squares and rectangles. OSM for Blender.
Okay, I'll take a look. I'll write it down.
I have it in here somewhere. But yeah, I'm glad you guys are here for this, and I was able to show you guys, because I started in AltSpace just like all of you guys did, and like it's coming into real life, you know, and it, like, I sat right here on this stage and had a panel with another girl at Essence.
Wow.
Like, and I didn't even know this. Like, I didn't know that I was on the panel, that I would be on the stage until I got there. And they were like, yeah, you're on a panel with Tika. And I was like, what? But yeah, I worked with, so there was 5 of us on the team for this with Black Technola, and everybody had a different role, but like I worked alongside everybody to get this render done. And like we came up with all of this and was able to execute it with fabricators and the people that have all the tech in 6 weeks. Most of these activations at Essence has like months to a year to work on their activation, and we did it in 6 weeks because it was the first tech summit and it was last minute, but they were really happy with it.
I have a question for you, Artsy. How do you maintain your stamina? Because you do a lot. So how are you caring for yourself with doing everything?
So I used like for about a year and a half, I just went hard in the paint. Like it was an everyday thing because I was partly just obsessed, with the possibilities. And then maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, after finishing an NFT project for NFT Oasis, I just kind of shut down, like creatively. And I was just like, I cannot get through to finish anything except for the stuff that I was doing for my Patreon, which is just 1 template a month, like it was really hard for me to complete projects. And that's when I know I'm at burnout. And so
right.
I did get a lot of stuff done before I burnt out, but now I'm coming to the realization after talking to Greg that I'm in recovery, and I didn't realize that. Like, I'm actually just in recovery from everything that, like I've done. Like my hyper focus on world building has kind of led me to a place where I just need to chill. And so that's what I've been doing. Like I've just been, watching a lot of YouTube, a lot of Netflix, like trying to, find new ways to move my body, go outside, travel a little bit.
Right. Yeah, you got to
cook all of my meals, like
yeah.
I'm just, taking a back seat to my creativity, and just like when the inspiration hits, then I'll use it. But
right.
Try not to beat myself up for not being, as productive as I used to be. And that's okay.
Right. Yeah, because you set up a wonderful foundation for yourself. So it was worth it. And so now it's good that you are taking the time instead of just forcing yourself to continue at that pace to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So I just wanted to make sure that you were doing that for yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Very good. Because I work with a whole bunch of corporate attorneys, so I know what level that looks like. One time I worked with an attorney, a partner, for like 19 hours straight. And I don't see how somebody can do that every day. So you just make sure you take care of yourself.
Yeah, for me, it wasn't like work. Like I had a hard time separating work from play. And when it starts to feel like work, that's when I need to stop.
Exactly. Good for you.
Yeah, we had these combos when we met, remember? Where I was like, look, I'm a pixel addict for real. And when I started hearing the hours you were putting in and you were learning, and you're like, I've never done this, and you're putting all these out and learning at such a high level. Remember? Like, you're learning, this isn't easy stuff. This isn't easy software. And I try to tell some people that I want to do this, and I ask them very simple questions. Do you know Photoshop? What do you do? Like, what do you know as far as tech? And so the amount that you've learned over the last couple years at the pace, yeah, it's going to be taxing for sure. So, and the creativity too. Like, not everybody has all of it, right? That's why you're good at what you do, girl, because you have the creativity and the talent and the digital skills, and it takes a lot to get all of it. So to be able to create a real world place like this, design, then in 3D and then in VR, it's awesome.
Blew my mind. Blew my mind.
For sure, for sure.
This is the only one I never took into VR. I actually need to upload it into Altspace and actually walk around in it, but yeah. I mean, you couldn't have told me I'd be doing this 2 years ago.
No.
Exactly. And now look, see, that's why you don't put limitations on yourself. You just do what you enjoy and let it flow, you know, and see where it takes you. So
yeah, but she doesn't understand. Like Artsy doesn't understand that she cracked the code. There are guys that I know that literally went to school and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to be like some 3D modeler at some gaming company, and they're doing nothing. And it's like, look what she's doing. It's all about heart. It's all about passion. Passion's a big part of this. Like, you got to love what you do. You got to want to learn and want to continue learning. If you stop doing this and you stop at Unity or stop at Blender, you won't get any better. You have to put the hours and the time into this game. And if you do, you'll get rewarded, but it's a hard grind. It's not but it's a great road. Like Artsy makes it nice, golden road with nice pink trees and beautiful. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Artsy. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. It's just that, like, I asked myself that a lot, like how did I get here? And to be honest, like 90% of my projects are for other people. Like, right. So if it was just me building for me, I wouldn't be as far and I wouldn't have made, like as big of a impact that I've made. Like I actually, like my very first 3 months world building, I was already taking clients. So like my desire to learn and my desire to execute was based off of knowing that I had an ability to make somebody's dream come true. And so if it wasn't for the people that saw me and supported me and wanted, asked me for, to make their dream come true, I wouldn't be at this point. Because I really do think like everything that I've done, like it's bigger than me as an artist. It's really about the community. And I think a lot of people miss out on what they're able to do if they don't do it with a community.
Exactly. You're right.
Great lesson.
That's how you make your network connections, all the sorts of things that you don't do in a vacuum, right? So yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have came up with a lot of this stuff if it wasn't for my clients. My clients have pushed me more than I've pushed myself.
I say that all the time.
Yeah. And it, like the joy on their, avatar's face, like, or the sniffles behind the headset makes it all worth it. Like, and I would do it over and over and over again. From my perspective as an artist, it's very hard for me to think in code. Even though I've taken several coding classes, it just don't stick for me. But I absolutely encourage those that can to do, or that want to. I guess I've picked my lane of what I'm good at. And I leave the coding up to the coders, the software developers. There was a girl at Black Technola that inquired, like one of her questions was, she sees so many creatives and artists succeeding and thriving in the space, but it seems like developers don't get any love. And she's like, are we even valuable in the space? And I was like, you guys are the reason why I can come in and do what I do. Like, it's important that, people that can code and do software development understand their value in the space as well. And that they're not silenced or put on the back burner, because none of this would be possible for me if it wasn't for them.
That's right.
And I think as a people, we need more of them anyways.
And also to note that, coding is challenging. What you described, Artsy, is normal. It takes years, at least for me personally, because art is my first language, not coding. But also to note that, You have coders who see the advantage of bringing in more coders and building systems that are easier for people to enter it. And also, when you describe starting off with community, that's exactly another example of this, to say, look, if you have a community, you may have community that includes artists and coders. And again, because it seems like your starting point is always to gather, and that is something that is possible, to gather community of people who, you know, have different skills.
Absolutely.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Thanks for sharing that, because it is about the whole structure, right? It's not just one-sided. So we all need each other. So yeah, that was really nice.
Artsy, do you realize that you are a creator hack and your capacity is, everybody can't handle the capacity of understanding the information and put it out like you put it out. You realize that? Yeah.
My dad says I take it for granted.
Is this the course
Yeah, it's almost like you don't, it's like, it's so natural that you not really know that, like, I do understand that everybody can't handle a whole lot of information and then apply it. You get what I'm saying? So you have to have a capacity. Your capacity, you can like hold that much and then push it out. So I just said that because, you know, you're building your course and things like that, and, you know, you probably have to separate that from your, you get it from your creativity, in a sense. And that could be difficult, you know. But I just want to salute you though, because now it's been about a year now, and I finally like cleared my plate, and I'm ready to present a project to you that I want that I'm manifesting right now. So when you get the time, maybe at the end, I'll let you know.
Yeah, for sure. Let me know.
Hey, Artsy. So I'm excited about your course because I'm a personal chef, so I have like no tech background. I saw you at the IWB conference with Yinka.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I got super excited, and it just resonated with me. But like I said, I don't have a tech background, so I need like your course to, you know, explain everything step by step, because that is how I learn. Especially if it's something new, not with cooking. Cooking I could do with my eyes closed, but something like this, I'm really excited about it. So thank you for putting in the time to do it.
Aw, I'm gonna make y'all proud, I promise.
All right, girl.
It's already done. You don't have to do anything else. You've done it already.
Yo, Yinka actually got me my first article interview this week. So
yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
Where is that? Where is that?
Submitting.
This is on Metaverse Insider.
Oh, okay, great. All right.
Yeah. But I was pretty grateful for Yinka. She's always looking out for me.
Oh yeah, she's looking out for me too. She's great.
All right, so do you have a demo reel? I saw you have a few images that you put collages, but did you actually build like a video demo reel type thing?
I have them on my YouTube channel.
Okay. Just like a mix of everything, sure.
Actually, let me pull up my Canva. This is the PowerPoint that I have when I do when I talk to the kids. So I just did this PowerPoint for 50 students in Newark, New Jersey. That's Rockadala's initiative, his VR initiative. So he's actually 50 kids got an Oculus and a new computer, and they're taking a course right now to learn coding.
That's awesome. I'm from Newark, so representing Newark. That's awesome.
I mean, like, that was super inspiring to me because that's what I want to do for sure. You know, like, I want to have, like, I just need to get through, this first course to really understand, like, my teaching style, and see if it works. And then I definitely want to, I mean, every time I go somewhere, I just want to give away Oculus because, like, once people try it, they just love it. And there was a young adult that was helping me run my booth at Essence, and she was like super inspired and into, you know, wanting to learn how to do this, but she didn't have the resources. You know, I want to be able to give them the resources to at least, you know, try it out.
You'll find companies that'll definitely help you. You'll see, like, you're building up such a portfolio and such a client base and everything. You'll easily be able to tell these companies, and they'll want to help you help other kids. Like, it'll just happen.
Contact them, Oculus Quest, and tell them about your course and stuff. You can do that. They'll give you that. They will work with you.
Rocket Alley got a grant to do it, so.
I'm glad you got it. I'm glad that that Essence experience, that Essence, that's more of the aspect where I was coming from, because when I met you in this art space thing, I felt like I arrived to architecture because I always wanted to do it. But me, I wanted to actually take it to reality. Like, if we model we can model a world. Well, let me back up a little bit. So as an artist, I would like, you know, use art to reflect the changes that we want to see in society. Okay. So that's how I am as an artist. So the things that I would like to create is something in VR that we can actually manifest in real life, you know? So,
yeah, I used that in one of my very first interviews. And it's actually on the next slide, that I think VR is the ultimate intention and manifestation tool.
Yes, exactly. So,
just tell me I won't be making one of these buildings in real life. You know what I'm saying? Especially my dream house.
Yeah, it'll be dope to see some of that stuff in real life. Like, even your flower. You know, like, just your office, you know what I'm saying? That'd be
like
dope.
I have whole like visions sometimes when I'm out like exploring a city, you know, of like seeing like a skyscraper with my name on it, and like everything on the inside is just like artsy-fied.
So what have you done with the AR world, the augmented reality world? Because I know you have AR glasses.
I did the 3 months trial or beta of the Snap lenses, and you know, I was trying to get into it. There was a lot of coding involved, and I did not like it.
Yeah, the AR stuff definitely has more coding. Even Spark AR and all the in Snapchat, yeah, it can get daunting because there's a lot more to be able to get something. But it's the wearables and the avatars, and that's a whole nother lane, right? Like, you can tell world building and then doing just the wearables. Like, you could spend weeks and weeks on, you know, hoodies and hats and clothes and for different NFT collections and projects and stuff.
Yo, I spent months on that jewelry display,
of course,
that I had. Months. And I totally want to do that for like AR, but I think, I don't need to do everything by myself. So like, when the opportunity arises to collaborate or work with, a developer or coder, like, I'm definitely gonna take that on. So
for sure. Well, with the AR stuff, you could actually have your worlds just kind of pop up like on a business card, or even on a wearable, like on a print some hoodies, make some artsy hoodies, physical in real life hoodies, and then just have a QR code and have that pop up some worlds. You know, so any different hoodies could have different worlds attached. And I think all of us would find it cool to know which one we got. I got the purple one, then I got this space. You could attach different worlds to the hoodies. That's fun shit. So maybe you know some NFT developer kind of geek guy that's always bugging you to do stuff. So, I don't know.
You know, even like beyond like people coming out of the headset at Essence Fest, you know, like we're just like they just loved the experience. Like I had a couple that came to the booth at the same time. And so what I was doing at the booth was that I had my Oculus and then I had 2 other Oculus at the counter. And I took each set of 2 people on a tour of like 4 worlds.
Right, hopping, yeah.
You know, like world hopping to explain to them, you know, like where they were at. And I took a couple to Love Island, and like they have like a little mini date, like a little 10-minute speed date with each other on the island. It was adorable. But when it came out of the Oculus, I had a Popple, which is like a QR code or you know, like the thing that you put on your phone, so they can tap it and get your contact information. People were more impressed by that.
Cool. No, that means, yeah, but that's using tech. Not everybody knows what those are. Not everybody's using them in the right way. A lot of people are using NFTs the wrong way. So, you know, you're very creative and you have technically sound like you have digital assets. Merging those two and figuring out a way, but that's the thing. It's another project. It's another hours to do. It's most people don't have time, but your community is growing and growing. And an NFT, like an artsy NFT, not just art. It's got to be like a community one where we get access maybe to your course, maybe a discount or maybe early access, beta access before everyone else. And I think, you know, some of us.
You guys know my autograph is on OpenSea.
Yeah, I saw it.
I think I sold 3 of them, but I also didn't advertise it. I didn't tell anybody that it was on there.
Right.
I have a link to it on my website, but
you give me an NFT that gives me access to what we're watching right now, to the actual file instead of your sped up shit, and I'd buy that right today.
Yeah.
You know, it's time like different access, right, for different files, and different people would want different things. It's fun.
Yeah. That's funny. I think somebody said they like when they're watching these on YouTube, they put it on like
0.5.
Yeah, 0.5
that's
speed.
What I do.
And watch it. Yeah.
I have to click play in real fast to try and pause it at certain spots to see what you do in the menus. Oh, it's fun.
It's funny. I mean, that's what I used to do.
That's what we all do. I mean, that's like a go-to thing. You know what I'm saying? Like going and watching tutorials and learning and teaching yourself. Yeah.
But I think Artsy, it's more about like the angles that you like. You flow so fluidly across different things, and man, Blender's just a motherfucker sometimes trying to get shit lined up and get it sorted. And
well, the thing is, once you learn the tools, like you just rely on your creativity. Like I don't know what I'm doing before I do it. I just do it and I see. I mean, if it looks good, it looks good. You know, like if it works, it works.
Right.
Like people ask me if I sketch, and I'm like, no. Like I'm an artist, but I don't sketch anything. Especially, you know, like when I record, it actually pushes me to finish something.
It does, yeah.
Because I start a lot of stuff and never actually finish it. Because I'm just not inspired, you know?
Yeah, that's what I think that's what was a wow factor for me. Once I seen you actually create something from scratch in Blender and shape it without, you know, so I was like, damn.
One of the courses is going to be on furniture.
Yeah, because you can split up those courses into like world building and then furniture, design development, and then
there's so much. There's so much to learn.
So much.
Yeah, it really is.
Let's see, take it one polygon at a time. Do it with passion.
Artsy, do you have any art galleries you would recommend?
Like art galleries that are already in the metaverse to go look at?
Yeah, have you built any, or I kind of need one that's been artsified.
Let's see. I have built art galleries. Yeah, I mean, like a standalone art gallery. You know, I have one somewhere that I haven't published. If I could find it, it was like, and, you know, people turn art, I mean, any world into an art gallery. So like my that I have on my Patreon, I do have like two of them that are specifically galleries. But like the empty rooms that I upload, people, you know, just put art on the walls. And it's an art gallery. I think an art gallery is probably one of the most fluid type of spaces, like a multi-purpose type of spaces. Let me see if I can find.
I probably have about 200 NFT pieces. And
200?
Yeah, and I haven't marketed any of them yet, but I kind of need a web portal, and then, you know, the customers can just kind of peruse the gallery.
On the web, though.
Right. Because not everybody shows up with a set of Oculus, you know, glasses.
Mm-hmm. This is... All right, so I got my art gallery. I didn't build this one though. Let me see if I can find...
Hey, RC, like I have an art studio now, and I like never want to leave.
You have an art studio?
Yeah, it's like I'm in a art studio. It's just like a starter. It's like 8 by 20. It's not really big, but it's like, you know, I'm just kind of starting my art career, and you know, I wanted to start, you know, get me a studio, and it's like I'm really realizing that I really love being in the studio. Like I never leave. If you can like live here, I probably would live here. It's like I want to show you what face that I'm at. Like you're gonna be like, damn, it's crazy.
Feel free to share your screen if you got something.
I'm gonna do it once I'm clean. Like I'm really like planting while I'm listening to y'all. Like I'm really like planting the plant. But I will. I want you.
Do you have Do you have an idea of what you want it to look like?
I think
Ben?
the art. Well, I think the art would kind of drive that, and it's more galactic alien NFTs. So maybe even something in outer space. I just haven't found the framework for one that I really like, that I want to jump into and then start hanging the art.
Gotcha.
I see how you are. You just do it on the fly.
Yeah, I do. I have a workflow, but when it comes to actually doing the building, I just kind of go for it. One of the things that a lot of people are just scared that they're gonna mess something up, and that's really your biggest kryptonite is
fear.
Break this stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the galleries that I built. It's never actually been used. I don't even think many people have ever seen it. It's not in Altspace, but I built it I put it on the web. It's on one of my metaverses.
I like that. I like the water elements. I would just need more walls.
Right. Yeah, here's what it looks like.
Yeah, contemporary, futuristic.
How big are you trying to make the images?
I'm not even sure in terms of pixels. I've got various sizes, some portraits, some landscapes.
I mean, I could fit 200 pictures in here, but
okay.
I mean, it just depends on how, like if you're wanting all of them to be like 10 feet tall.
Yeah,
or if there's different sections,
right.
But just know, any platform you upload with 200 separate images is gonna be terribly
slow.
So what I would do is I would texture atlas all of them, like split them into like maybe 5 or 6 collages, and then map them individually.
Okay.
Do you know how to do that?
I'm just learning Blender, and I'm in that, the Universe Blender course at the moment, and I think our Unity class starts next weekend.
Gotcha.
So I'm a newbie.
Let me. Does Canva make collages?
Go ahead, just break it. Just try something. Just break it.
Yeah, there he goes. All right. All right, I'm just gonna use one of theirs.
Nice. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna download this. Now, I wouldn't leave this much space in between them, but so if I was to turn this into a gallery, I'm gonna put my 3D cursor here, Shift A to add a plane, R by 90. All right, so there's a plane. I'm going to go to File, Import Images as Planes. Change this to shadeless. All right, so there's my image. Now, I'm gonna go to my materials and I'm gonna select this one. All right, so obviously that's not what we want. I'm gonna go to my UV editor. I'm gonna go into edit mode. And now you see if I hit A to select all down here, and then G to move, I can move the orange box anywhere around here, right?
Right.
So I'm just gonna scale it. So I hit S to scale, and then I'm gonna move it to one of these here. Now the aspect ratio is off, so I'm gonna scale my actual geometry here. And then I'm gonna hit U and Q projection. Then I'm gonna scale it down again, move it here, and then I have to rotate it. So I'm gonna do R90, and then I'm gonna flip on the Y. Oh, flip on the X. All right. So now that image is there, and I can just maybe move this up, and then I'm gonna do Shift D to duplicate. And I'm gonna move this down, and then I'm gonna go into edit mode, and then I'm gonna move this one over here. Now that's a new image. Shift D to duplicate, down, go into edit mode, and pick another one.
Yeah, you can rapid fire those.
Oh my God.
And that way,
you're doing this in Blender instead of Unity?
You can't do this in Unity.
Ah, okay, okay.
And I do 95% of my work in Blender before it ever goes to Unity. The only thing I do in Unity is bake lighting if it's going into AltspaceVR, and add colliders. That's it.
Gotcha, gotcha.
I do everything in Blender. So now I can maybe duplicate this, move it over here.
Wow.
And I'm gonna change the aspect ratio on this one. So I'm gonna go into edit mode and scale this up. All right, now I'm gonna go into edit mode. I'm gonna hit U because I changed the aspect ratio, and I'm gonna hit Q projection again. Scale, and then R90. Then I'm going to mirror it on the Y and the X. And there we go. And then I can just work my way around the room. And that way, it's only one material and one texture. Make sense?
That's freaking awesome. So
Yeah, that's great.
So what you did is you just brought in one image, you attached it to a plane, and then that image has multiple images and you just rearrange them as such.
Yeah.
I have to try that. I have to do it, not try.
So this is the same method that I use for actually texturing as well. So if I had, you know, like if I wanted, and this is not something that I do on a regular basis, but like if I'm gonna take something to the web, it needs to be much lighter than it's something that I would take to Altspace. And so this is why I try to do as much atlasing as possible, especially if you have a lot of images. And so I do this for clients as well. Like I can upload all of these as a kit object to Altspace, and it still will only have one material and one texture, and then they can put these around the space however they want them. It just keeps them from uploading all of their images and then crashing the world. This is the much more performant way. And you can add more images to this that is on here. I did one of those for...
Oh, and you put all those images in Canva? Oh, wow.
You know, I did graphic design in Photoshop and Illustrator for just as long as I was doing photography, so like 15 years. And I switched to Canva like 3 months ago because it's just a lot quicker and all my fonts are in here. So yeah, I do all of this in Canva now. And then I make things with collage, and then I just map it like this.
Oh, Dad, you know what? You are fantastic. I would have never thought about that. What I did in Altspace is I uploaded all my paintings into Altspace and then positioned them on the walls in Altspace. But what you're saying is don't do that. Do it in Blender, and then you can just bring the scene into Altspace.
Mm-hmm.
And that conserves the space and doesn't inhibit the performance.
Yeah. Right.
Awesome.
That's why I moved to Blender. So I started in SketchUp Pro. Like when I was building things from scratch, I started in SketchUp. But I didn't realize my worlds were so glitchy. It's because like in SketchUp, I was just doing whatever looked good. And then I would export it and I'd have like 100 materials and 100 different textures. And, you know, another world builder told me that he had switched to Blender and he was finding like a 40% increase in performance. And I was like, bet, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna learn it, because performance over everything, you know, like your world can look great, but if it's glitchy, nobody wants to be in it. Now, what my clients do, what my patrons do after I give them the template, that's on them. And I'm gonna find that out because I have a Patreon world tour in an hour. They're gonna take the tour.
Oh, you doing a tour on Patreon? Is it through the headset or is it?
Yeah. I mean, you can join on PC, but they're gonna take me around to their worlds and show me what they've done with the templates that I give them.
Oh, I should join that. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we're meeting at my jet. The world code is IBZ856.
IBZ856.
Yeah, that's my jet.
Oh, I love your jet. I love it. Okay. All right, I got it in Altspace. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody have any more questions about atlasing?
That was awesome. Thank you.
No problem. When you said 200 images, I was like, oh my God, I hope you know how to atlas.
Yeah.
We know what that feels like to be in a world. And on PC, it's just...
You called it Atlas?
It's called texture atlasing.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm just learning so much stuff today. I'm so excited.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, this could go on, you know, and you can find, you know, like really cool layouts You know, it doesn't have to be up and down. It can be like collage style. Let's see, NFT Oasis. So this entire build is atlased. So if I click on this here, you see this?
Oh, wow. So every texture and stuff is on that one plane and then you just reposition.
Yep.
Now, are you doing UV unwrapping with this or no?
Religiously. That's what this is.
Oh, okay. See, now I understand because I'm like, how is she doing that? But that's the UV unwrapping. And what part of Blender are you in doing that? The UV editor?
UV editor, yeah.
Okay.
So so right now I just had the wall selected, but if I select, let me see, if I select these, then, okay, so maybe not the terrain, separate. All right, so if I select all of these, all right, so it's the grass, the plaster, fabric. All right, so you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, these are different sections of the house.
Oh, wow. Artsy, I know you already got something on your plate with the first course, but you have to do one course on UV unwrapping in this, because this is fantastic.
That's in the second course.
Oh,
actually, I might cover a little bit in the first course because the big premise is getting people started understanding the models before they import them into Altspace. So being able to change the texture of a model includes you having to know about UV unwrapping. So there'll be a little bit of that in the first course, but not a whole lot. The second course is more Blender based. It's more Blender specific. But you can't talk about Blender without talking about UV unwrapping.
Right. No, thank you so much. I know everybody else is excited too, because I'm excited. Because this is what, when you're creating your models in Blender, right? And I was like, what is this UV unwrapping thing? Because I was bringing my models into Unity and then applying the materials and stuff there. No, what you're saying is that
when it's in Unity, it already has, the UVs are stuck. Like, you can't change the you can change the offset of the texture, but it doesn't help if there's something wrong with the UV map of the of the model, because just because you downloaded it doesn't mean it's perfect. Some people put out, especially if you're getting stuff for free, if you're downloading free objects and stuff, like before the person uploaded it, they might not have gone through the whole process, especially the process that you're trying to use for VR, or they are using solid colors and you want to use a texture. If you try to put a texture on an object that was made as a solid UV, it's not going to transfer the same. And plus, like, the size of the pixels change depending on what texture you're using. So if I was to make this wood, it would be a very tiny thin wood compared to this wood, because the size of this UV is different than the size of this UV.
That's right. That's right. And see, in the editor, you can resize all of these textures.
Exactly. So I can, so if
Right.
I come over here, then I can size, you know, the differently.
Oh, this is, you know what? You have made the rest of my life. I just want to say that. This
I
is
struggled.
awesome.
I struggled with this for months. You know, like.
You like IT Trey.
But I mean,
You
it's
remind
not
me of Trey.
Like everybody, come on.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't come innate. You know, innate to you. So that's okay.
And there's levels beyond this, Artsy, like really understanding the mesh and the polygons and the tries. And like I've seen people remesh things like at a very high level. Like we do some terrain, right? You mentioned terrain, adding a grass texture is different than actually building a terrain with all the mesh and all the grass. And you have to know and understand the difference between the two and where we can apply. And you have a good understanding of where you want to put a lot of polygons and where you don't. And as like new people, as we kind of come up, you know, it's hard to kind of grasp and understand and look at something and be like, it's going to be that heavy or that. And I'm trying to get that from the base now, doing buildings and small furniture, do it from the ground up.
Right. Yep. Pixel, you asked about my asset library.
Yeah, the whole, man, like understanding, like I know you have a furniture one and you walked us through it and you kind of showed, but it's how to mark things and each build do you do, because you have an Artsy's library. So are you marking everything and then building it into your own library?
Yeah, so last time I showed you guys my materials are my favorite. I'm like a material crackhead. Like I will, if I don't feel inspired about anything, I'll go download materials.
Okay, but our problem is starting off, well, my problem is I want to have one place. I want to have it like this. So I don't want to have materials and textures and now they're all over the place. I got to make sure that I, unpack them, and there's 4, right? There's displacement and bump. I want to import them properly into here, sort them properly, and it's just a mess.
It takes time, but
I know.
The first thing, and like this will be one of the first things I cover in the course is organization. Like I swear to God, like your life as a world builder will be complete hell if you do not organize from the get-go. Like have one folder for Blender. Okay, I have Blender files here, right? Have one folder for Blender. All of your blend files start here, right? So my asset library pulls from Blender files. So no matter what, I can save all of these to my asset library because they're all in the same folder. My Unity project has its own folder. So all of my Unity projects are in here. Like my clients, I can go into clients and like all of my client packages are in here. I've got materials. All of my materials are in the same folder. Like it's really crucial that you organize. Like you can download things, right? Put them in your downloads first, but then you always move them before you start to use them. You always move them to your materials folder. Like this is the key for me to
So how do you get all these materials that you download from the internet and you have them, buy them and whatever, move them into this folder materials? How are you transferring that into Blender and then into your own My Artsy's library?
All right, so I'll open up my asset libraries. All right, so these are my asset libraries. I have...
Oh, you have dot blends in there, okay.
Yeah.
Because in there you have furniture and doors.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
So here's my materials library. And I'll go through this one.
And you had to import them into this file and then mark them as assets, and then
I'll show you how to do it.
I just knew this file was coming up. I knew you had a big file that you had to do all this because I'm trying to do it now and I'm like, I want to do this the right way.
Yeah. This is it's an ongoing project, and sometimes like I get excited. I think this this particular file I'm trying to bring up right now is just huge. Because shouldn't take this long to load.
I knew I should have been grabbing all the materials and building a materials blend file that I used instead of doing the other way. I knew that was right.
Yeah. So I have one for plants. I have furniture. So this is a this is an empty furniture one that I'm using, but
so go into your preference file, like go into where you put. Did you add all the locations, or is your only location this asset library?
No, it's blend files, Blender files. The assets library is just for my own peace of mind.
Yeah, but go into your preferences, and I want to see that where. No, it was under file right there. So you only have one. Okay.
Yeah.
One called asset Blender files, and then you just put them all in there. Okay.
All this look like fun to me. Like a little kid in a candy store. This look like candy.
Yeah, that's what I feel like.
I agree with that. Yes, it does look fun. It looks like a candy store, like you said.
Yeah, it's eye candy.
Right? All right.
I think the idea of just being in 3D just blows me away. Seriously.
All right, do you know what you're looking at?
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know what I'm looking at.
I don't either.
It just looked like fun to me. Like.
Oh, so what you did, Artsy, is you took cubes and you put your materials on the cubes and you saved it in a Blender file?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's a way for
that you can attach each one of these materials into your asset browser, so that when you're working on other projects, you can just slam over these textures into anything you want that's in your file, like in your scene.
Oh,
you want me to demo this?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes, please do. Also, what you're going to do is when you start a new Blender file, you're just going to have it refer to one of these cubes to bring in instead of the main cube that comes with Blender.
It's not going to refer to any of these cubes. If I go up here and I go to Blender file, materials.
Excuse me, I'm chewing hard.
It's referring to these materials.
I see. So you have it as okay. I see the icon that you clicked on to go to that folder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to click on the show us out. You got to click on the fabric, and then you got to mark it as an asset, I think, and then in the
So this is like your grab box. So would you like grab stuff with your texture or what? I mean, I know I'm using word. I said grab box, but
I'm trying to not make it sound as complicated as it looks. So let me go grab some water and I'll be right back.
Okay.
This is awesome. Do you guys do this every Saturday?
Not every Saturday, but I think we've done it maybe 4 or 5 times now.
Okay.
Yeah, this is awesome. I mean, a few of us I know are taking the Blender course at Universe, and we haven't gotten to UV anything yet. We're still learning how to create models. But I mean, this is wonderful. I didn't know that your processes it's a process, but this is what Artsy's doing to
No, here's the
make
problem.
sure
Artsy-
everything
Yeah.
make sure everything is in Blender. It's so cool, and it makes everything so efficient.
Yeah, a lot of the flow things is, I think Artsy just takes for granted, right? Because she created them, and it's not common knowledge in a lot of the flows. Like, we're doing specific work like with Altspace and kind of Blender and Unity. So like these tips and tricks that she's showing us, like it really is like very, very specific, unique stuff that, and you can tell like everybody gets at different levels because there's so much to do. And there's levels, the rabbit hole goes down on each one of them. So we all have to kind of decide what we learn, how much we learn in different areas. UV unwrapping, you can spend months just being a perfectionist at kind of doing certain things.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it because the materials is the big part to me. Right. Like creating the models is intensive too, but I mean that's coming along really great. It's and making sure your poly count is efficient. But the material stuff, that's a big deal because you want it to look a certain way. And when I looked at the videos about UV unwrapping, I was like, what? And now she just showed us that, it could be fun. UV unwrapping could be fun and creating the organization with the materials and everything. And also, Artsy, did you create your materials yourself in like Photoshop or what have you?
I do that too.
Okay.
And I'm also making them with AI as well.
Ah, okay.
It's so fun, isn't it, though, with Midjourney?
Yeah.
I thought of you right
I'm unstoppable.
away. It's so fun. I went so deep, and as soon as I saw you post, I was gonna hit you up. Like, I was thinking the same thing last night. Like, we should think of worlds and then just create them. And you actually went and did it. I was so happy. Oh.
All right, so so in my Worldbuilder starter pack, which will also be in the course, I have resource links here to 3D models, textures, and skyboxes. We're going for textures right now, so I'm going to go to
textures.com.
Yeah. I'm going to go to textures.com because I can download individual things. So I'm going to do some floors. And all right, so I want this one. So I'm going to download.
Are these free or is there some licensing involved?
These are free.
Okay. Because it's like, man, that's another site I need to join for $30 a month or whatever.
I actually pay for dozens of them.
Yeah, adds up after a while.
No, but it's good to buy things from other artists because we want to get paid for. I never understood how an artist could want to get paid for their work, but they want to do everything for free. It's like pay for something, God dog it, support somebody so then it could be reciprocated and you could create, a circle of life for everybody. Everything can't be free.
Yeah, I actually do pay for this, but I think you can download like maybe 10.
Yeah, because Polyhaven, you can do their Patreon. I do a Patreon for Polyhaven for their textures and stuff, which is really nice. So you can donate, you can do certain things like that too to help out.
And for me, like, it's also a tax write-off. So I actually try to pay for as much as I can.
That's smart.
I mean, I got hella subscriptions I pay for. I mean, like, I'm at least paying, $1,500 on subscriptions a month.
That's
Wow.
what's up. That's what's up. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you got to spend the money. So
you do. That's right.
Ain't no getting around spending no money to invest. It's
you got to
just
spend the money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know why people don't just dive into investing. It's nothing.
All right, this is enough for a demo. All right, so my downloads went into my downloads. I think downloads too. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna copy these, cut them. I'm gonna cut them. I'm gonna go to my materials, textures, and then I'm gonna make a new folder. Worldbuilder. I'm pasting there. All right, so I know where they are. They're in my materials folder under textures, under Worldbuilder. I'm gonna go into my file here. Make a cube. I'm gonna duplicate it 3 times. And actually, I use the cubes for importing these specific textures that have multiple ones, but I can actually just use import images as planes, and I'll show you that too. So I'm gonna go to File, Import, Images as Planes, and then I'm gonna go to my Textures folder. You can put bookmarks here. So if you just travel to Worldbuilder maybe, and then click the plus sign, it will add Worldbuilder as a bookmark folder. All right, so I'm gonna select these 3. I'm gonna click on use alpha because I don't want to use alpha because these are not transparencies. And I'm gonna click import images as planes. All right, so there's my textures here. With all of these selected, I'm gonna go ahead and push F2, and I'm gonna name them bricks. All right, so now I have 3 new textures here, and I can put them on the boxes if I just want to keep things organized that way. So I would go to like that. And then I'm gonna go up here to view layer. I mean, not view layer, blend file. And then I can scroll down here. I've got these textures here. I can right click, rename them. All right, so I have 3 new ones. And I can just right click and mark as asset. Now, in my material library, I go to current file, and by default, they will go to unassigned. So here they are. Select all 3 of these, open my materials, and drop them into brick.
There, that's exactly what I want.
And now you saw it.
But now, if this is just one image you did as the plane, if they come in with the 4 files with the bump, do you bring them in through like the nodes, through the node wrangler, and apply them that way?
Hell no. Listen, one of the things, like, it's important for you guys to know how to do things manually before you go download add-ons. But I have a ton of add-ons because, like, there's always a more efficient way to do things. Always. Okay, so I'm going to go to here, and then I can go to normal and click normal map. If I want to add a normal map, click here, image texture, and then go find a normal map, right?
Gotcha.
And that's the manual way. Important for you to know how to do that. So now it's got this normal map on top of it, which is pretty cool, right? You can do the same thing for metallic, although I don't use a lot of PBRs because you don't need to, especially for VR. It just adds more weight to your world. Things look pretty good even without PBRs. Most of the worlds you go into that are mine, you won't see PBRs. I have a normal map for my gold, and I have maybe a normal map for my wood if it's a really nice wood. But other than that, I don't use PBRs. So if I download a PBR, I only grab the diffuse texture of it.
So to make things look a little bit more 3D, like, is there anything in your
it's just the
textures
normal
that
map.
you do, or no? Is there anything you do in the meshes at all? Like, do you add any kind of?
No,
you just leave them straight.
No,
okay.
yeah. And you know, like when you're in a world that's mine, there's so much to look at that you're not paying attention to.
Just take it away from away from the exact images and just make it about the world and the shapes and the
Now, other world builders might go into your world and be like, "Oh, nice PBR," but like I'm not building for world builders. My clients don't give a shit. They want it to look good, and they want it to perform well. They want it to be able to go to the, main page for their event. I don't need to do all the extra stuff. So I keep it simple. I use a diffuse texture and a normal map if it really needs it. Like I don't do the ambient occlusion, I don't do the metallic, I don't do bump maps, none of that.
Gotcha.
Just a diffuse texture and a normal texture. That's why I don't worry about importing all the maps.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. I actually go through and I delete all the other maps out of my folders, and I just leave the diffuse and the normal maps. I used to put all 6 of them on each material, and it was just too much. And when you're baking light in Unity, PBRs are a moot point. When your whole world's just gonna look shiny, it's not gonna actually take much of a bake. You're not gonna see shadows on shiny surfaces. So I don't really use them a lot for that because I really like crisp, deep, dark shadows. But yeah, that's the process basically, and I just do that over and over and over and over again.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's quite the like you said, you're gonna go down bad roads and become unorganized. So I'm just asking these questions now, as I'm building up this repertoire and building up all these assets, I'm gonna start saving things. I want to make sure they go in the right folders and that they get named properly, that I can reuse them and not waste, hours and hours. Come on.
Yep. So I'll open up a folder and just work on some beds. Yeah. And then I can, make these into assets. So with actual 3D models, you don't have to go into the Blender file. You just want to make the asset here, so you can right click, mark as asset.
And you just make them as a collection, put all the parts together, hit F2, bake it as a collection, and then just save it. Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, you can have a whole course on bedding, on like you said, the cloth
furniture. Yeah. So decor, and then furniture.
And a lot of this is yours, right?
And this ain't even all of it. Because the asset library, the really good asset library, just came out in 3.1. So we're on 3.2 right now. 3.0 asset library was crap. It took forever to load. So I was using a different asset library called Flow. And my Flow library has most of all my content because, I'd started there for months. I had built this up. But you can see These are,
you know, materials are there's so many ways you can do them, and so many ways you can store them and not apply them, but you know what I mean, like.
Yeah. If you've never seen actually, I think I might have. I'm not sure.
What version of Blender are you using right now, Artsy?
3.1.
3.1, okay.
I'm always a little bit behind.
No, I think we're in the class, we're behind you because I think we're using version 2.93.
What?
Yeah, in the class at Universe Blender class, yeah. We're not using the updated one.
Yeah, that's what they had to start with.
Yeah. So I'm seeing things in here and I'm like, I don't see
it. Doesn't even have an asset library.
Right, that's okay. Thank you for making that clear. Okay.
There's no way I would go backwards.
No, okay, no matter what they're teaching, like I would suggest all students have to like always try and look at the latest stuff.
Hell no, you're gonna miss out on a lot of stuff.
Always.
Okay.
There's a lot of new functions in 3.0 and up that are just really delicious.
Oh, all right. So that's what
he actually wants to bring me in to teach one of them classes.
Well, I don't know. You're doing your own thing. I think you should stick with your own thing.
No, help us finish the class. Come teach us.
All right, here's my master. One of my I have two masters, but this is one of my master furniture files that I turned into my asset library. I'm not done with these. I haven't turned all of these into assets yet, but these I've at least gotten these done.
Yeah, the advice you gave to actually build some of these before you get in is really smart. I really think I should spend more time and actually make a bunch of tables and couches and chairs and bars, and I think it, yeah.
Yeah, I made this Papa sign on one of these open studios with y'all. You guys watched me make this. I think Frederick, you were on the call for this, right?
Yeah, remember? Yeah, you were showing me how to make the chair. We did. That was many months ago though.
Yeah. You guys, I guess I'll have you guys on here. Do you have any pricing suggestions for these classes? Courses?
What do you mean? What you should price your class for?
Yeah.
I don't care. I really don't care because you've given me more value than what I'm getting now. And I think for the Universe class, I got the discount, the first one. So I think I paid $579 for mine. And I'm not getting nowhere near the value that you've given us today. So I would be willing to pay anywhere between $500 and $1,000. That's my opinion.
I say sell it for $2,000, and then for the first, I say the first come in, you sell it for $1,500, and then only do it by a limit of 10, 15 people. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean that's my suggestion.
Yeah, because what Nicholas did, he it was originally I think for $7 something. If anybody can confirm that, that's in the class with me. But he gave like the first 25 people can get like a 20% discount, and then I think he did the next 10 could get like a 15 or 10% discount. So you can discount it too if you like. But Artsy, you are giving so much value. It's about value that, I mean, today alone, the value that you've given about Blender, I'm just blown away. So Girl, do whatever you need to do. I'm in.
Artsy, sorry. Go ahead. Artsy, you think about breaking that stuff down in bite sizes and selling the little courses for like $100, $25. You know, it's like you going through so many things. You could just be making many little courses and just selling them. $20, $100.
Right. You can do minis. Yeah, you're right.
It can build up to, I can share some. I'm gonna share some stuff with you when I holler at you. But I've taken a course with Danielle Leslie because I'm actually building a course, a branding introduction course, and she's big time. So I took her course a while back, and I had to put my art first because I was trying to get I was trying to get over here to this world, but it took a while to just.
I took an online sellers course when I was doing my illustration website. I paid $1,500 for that course, and I definitely got value out of it. I guess we were the first cohort. There was 4 of us in it, and we each paid the same amount. But then she repackaged that same course and like doubled it after. Which I mean, I don't know.
Because you're perfecting it along the way, Yeah. It's like when you take your first course, and I'm just giving you spills from the inside. Of course, it's just most people, and I just heard her. She has an interview I can share with you. I started it only about 2 minutes, but she said that most people really lose their mind trying to make a course perfect, and they never just make the course. And then
I think that's where I'm at.
Perfect it later. I'm a perfectionist. I don't know about you, but you know what I'm saying?
I just value the money that people spend. I want them to get what they paid for. And for me, it's not like, it's important. And that's why, like, for the past 2 years, I've just, or past year and a half, I've done, donation-based private lessons. And, like these open studios. I think it's important that there are more people that are building, but I'm realizing that people aren't finishing what they started, and I just need people to finish what they started so that they can keep going. And like, I'm gonna need to hire you guys. You know what I'm saying? So I just need more people doing it.
I hear you. Yes, I hear you. Yep. We getting ready.
Right on. You on the right call.
We're doing it. Yes.
But I don't want it to be like too low price because people won't take it seriously. I'm looking for a specific type of.
That's right. That's right.
If you make it more about exclusivity, like, listen, you could, because you have such a deep knowledge, you say, look, I don't want to take on everybody. I want to take on only a certain amount. So then you have like a certain period. You're like, it's going live Friday. It's going all weekend until it sells out. There's only so many positions available. Do it like that and have it at a good price point. Have it at a higher price point that you're comfortable with. Like, get the money you want, the value you want for it, and sell out that. Then worry about the other courses, mini courses, and all that. Like, you could sell 50 or sell 100. Don't worry about selling 1,000 courses. That'll come with everything else, right? Just this first one, you have a loyal kind of community that will buy up even 100 of them, 250, 250 tickets. Do whatever you want.
But it's going to be automated. Like, you have it on Teachable, right, Artsy? I was looking at your platform. Is it on Teachable?
It's Learn Worlds.
Oh, okay. And so anybody could, because you're not.
It'll come from my website. Like, it'll be a specific website. It's not going to like Udemy or Skillshare.
Like gotcha. Okay.
But it's open
those
learning.
Are
like they can buy it anytime and learn anytime.
Yeah, like that's maybe something I'll do later. I already have a community of people that are waiting for the course, so I'm not trying to like straight shoot like a $60 course to like thousands of people.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, like I want people to go from beginning to end and actually do it. I don't want a bunch of people knowing exactly how I do my work and then not actually use it. Like, I'm looking for people that are actually going to be like the next me or better than me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to.
Yeah,
it's a long term
And plus, you want to have a pool, a resource of people that you can rely on to help you out, probably with projects.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I
right.
don't have that right now because the people that are just as skilled as me are booked. You know what I'm saying? Like, or they have, you know, they already have a Rolodex of clients. I can't ask them to help me out. Like, and I've got a lot of projects I can't fulfill because, you know, like, I'm so busy. And my price point is higher now, you know, like I raised my prices so I can take on less projects so that I could have time for this. Like,
exactly. Yes, I get it.
I want people to invest in their future in this space so that I can help them get that money back. Like, you could get the money back after, you know, like taking the course just by me handing you one client. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Nope, I get it. Listen, yep, put my energy and money where my mouth is, and then I can reach out. I got it, 1,000.
Hi, Artsy, this is Wendy.
Hi.
I can give you an example. When I decided I wanted to obtain my Lean Six Sigma belt, black belt, the person who teaches it, he has his own business doing that. He personally interviewed each one of us to see if we had the dedication to get through that course, because it is rigorous. So you may want to think about something like that. And then also, since you're building your brand, you want to be very careful. And then you want to build in getting customer satisfaction surveys out, because you need to know the voice of the customer. So if you need to improve on something, you can learn a lot of that to help build your brand.
Right, exactly.
So these are things I'm noticing from one of the other courses that I'm taking. They need a lot of work, I'll put it that way. And I'm also a college professor, so I understand all of this stuff, assessments and voice of the student and all this other stuff. So those are just some pearls of wisdom for you.
I appreciate that. We'll definitely have to talk.
Yeah.
That's in the interview questions to vet your client.
No, this has been incredibly valuable to me. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, it goes full circle. It's like, this is my first time coming on here, and I'm like, I'm speechless. Well, I've been talking, but you know what I mean.
No, I love it.
Oh my God, I'm just so excited. It's like, wow, you really opened my eyes to the possibilities with Blender, because I was just confused, you know, going along, you know, getting the little bits of information, but you just showed how it could be used as an immense tool in model creation, even if you just did that, you know. You know,
I mean, in this, like, the open studios will continue even after I launch it. You know, like, I'll have a separate, you know, there's a place on you know, my course area for, you know, like live chats and stuff like that, or live sessions during the courses. But this will remain open for troubleshooting.
Yeah, no, this is great.
Artsy, I have a question. With, you building out your course, why don't you hire someone as don't pay them, as a intern to help you build out the course? That way you could get what you want, and it could move, you know, in a direction that you want. I'm only saying that because, like I told you, I'm a chef. And when I do stuff, and if I need, you know, a sous chef or something to help me, I will hire that person to help me, and they get in the experience, not necessarily all the time money, and it kind of flows a little differently. So I don't think that works in your world, but it could be a suggestion.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what they could do. Like, I mean, just in general, like my general business, I'm trying to figure out what it is that I can hand off to somebody without having to pre-teach everything. I guess at least I want to get through this first course to know my flow, and then definitely get help for the other ones, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
So Artsy, this is Peggy again. We're still learning, but what level does a person have to be to reach out to you to assist?
There's
there's what?
There's no particular level. It's just that, like, I had people that had never even opened up Unity, and it took them a whole hour just to install Unity and, Blender. So, if you could at least have Unity installed by the time we meet, like the correct version of Unity, which I have, lined out in the starter pack.
Right.
So I've had, like, people will book a private lesson. You can just inbox me. It's not a problem. Most people, if you inbox me a question I can't answer over text, I'm gonna send you a Zoom link anyways. But I think, as far as, like, I've like grabbed a couple world builders that, I've shown, like, I've seen them like really do proficient work. Like Millie's one of them. She's in here. Like, I've seen them do work already, and I don't mind spending more time with them. Like, they can sit with me and work with me, like in just it's kind of like an open studio, but it's like a more personal open studio. It's like maybe me, Millie, and Crisco. Like,
Gotcha.
Overnight session where we're just hanging out and working at the same time. Like, I'm more invested in what they're doing because they've already been building and they've already shown that they, are self-starters. And so for me, it's nothing for them to, like, come hang out with me and, learn and, converse back and forth, like on a non-official type of thing. Like, it could be a random day where I'm like, I'm bored. You want to hang out? Like, Zoom link. And, we can work together at the same time. But it really just depends. Like, with private lessons, private sessions, like, there's no requirements or levels that you have to be at. Right now, more than anything, because I've raised my prices, I've more time to do this.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I just, having the clarity to know what you're expecting. So then if, you do reach out to you, we're not wasting your time, and we have like a portfolio of stuff and everything. And then, we can have the conversation as to, how we can assist and what have you. So that's what I wanted to know.
What she's saying is everyone's dream here is to have you in our world and have you assess your students, design and build. I think that would be awesome.
Most people do that just organically.
For sure. We got to start working. Yeah.
If you see me online and I've got time, I'll come look at your world.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, just send me a message. We can set up a time.
Yeah, well, I can reach you by either the Facebook or the Patreon, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. We got 10 minutes left. Well, actually, we got 5 minutes because I need to head into VR for my tour. Anybody have any last questions? I guess we covered everything today. I appreciate all of you guys coming in and talking, because it's boring if nobody has anything to say. Chat has been saved.
Thanks, Artsy.
Thank you so much, Artsy. Really
Thank you.
No problem.
I was trying
I get just as much out of this as you guys.
Thank you so much. This has been so enjoyable. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for this. I really appreciate you sharing. This is awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks, Peggy. Your energy is amazing.
Oh,
yeah. I appreciate it. I appreciate the wallflowers too. I'm a wallflower when I'm in the Zoom chat, so your presence is also appreciated.
I guess I will try to show you where I'm at in this container. I'm like giving some Ready Player One stuff for real. Let me show you this. Can you see my screen? Let me see something.
We can see your face.
Okay, I don't want you to see my face, right? Okay, I'm just showing you this office, this where I'm at. So this is a container office. I'm still like moving in. You see? Show you this. This is what I want to build in VR, my own campus and manifest. So I'm walking out. This is a container. You see the grass up here? Kitchen down here. And I'm gonna keep walking. It's a whole facility, they call it a business office park. So I'm gonna walk downstairs just to show you.
That's so cool.
They got the coffee shop, different businesses here.
Listen, I'm all about the modern stuff. I've been looking at tiny homes a lot. You know, one of my first builds for my Patreons was a tiny home. Like a container home type of thing.
I'm trying to go down here so I can show you. But they have offices.
Container home office park?
Yeah, they call it a business office park. So I'm gonna be doing paint. You know, my thing is where I like to do social art paints. I'm gonna be doing paint parties at night and early morning. It's hot out here. But I kind of want to show you this whole. See this?
Where are you at? Damn.
I'm in Fort Worth. Look, so it took me a minute to dive into. So I wasn't playing Artsy. I'm like, I live our life, and so now that I have this, I want to manifest one of these. And I think this is the best example that I can show you. So that big one is like an event room that they turned into a big, just a big office space because people kept leaving stuff and doing events. But downstairs is retail and upstairs is office. So that third one, 1, 2, 3, was the one I was just in.
That's what's up.
So I'm going to manifest this like a small version first, and I'm gonna be building. So when y'all see me building something, this is what I'm gonna be building in VR, and I'm already looking for a lot and stuff to actually manifest it. So let me walk a little bit. What you see is 3 levels.
Yeah.
And it's solar panels.
Yo, go ahead and build that.
And then just kind of walk you through real quick. I know you gotta go. But they, they got office rooms, all keypad.
Awesome.
Just kind of giving you a peek.
That's so cool. That is cool.
This is at the kitchen, 24/7. So I get the paint, whatever. It's pretty modern. The bathrooms, they do have bathrooms on each level. Everything is kind of touch. See, it's kind of touch. It's kind of modern. But yeah, this is the project I want to work on, with my own. So yeah. Oh yeah, I'm going to. But yeah.
You gonna do it?
Huh?
You gonna do it?
Oh, I'm gonna do it. I wasn't playing. I ain't asleep, but yeah, this is where I wanted to show you real quick. And they all do have bathrooms, of course, on each level. So hall, air conditioned, it's all internet. All this stuff is like internet and electric, all that's included. Guess how much it is to have it? Like
250.
No, 750 upstairs.
What?
And 850 downstairs. So there you have it. I just want to make.
And Artsy, you worried about what you should charge for your classes, girl. You better charge.
Look.
So these are like new innovative ways to do things, and they have the electric carport station where you can plug up your electric car outside as well. So just giving you a peek letting you know it took a minute to like get in this position, but now I'm ready to build. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome. I can't wait to see it in VR.
So look out.
Yeah. Let me jump off this call, guys. I appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Love y'all. And we'll schedule another one soon.
Yes, enjoy. See you in VR.
All right. See you guys.
All right, later, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head.